starts now.
Yeah, nice thing is coming off of a day and a half of severe weather that included thunderstorms, flooding, and still a fair amount of flood warnings. We now can cruise into the weekend, take a deep breath, and just kind of relax. Here's a live look over 7th and Rangeline, where a little morning traffic getting out there. And, think about this, what we've seen the past week. We have seen fog, lightning, torrential downpour, blue sky, and then back to a torrential downpour all this week from 7th and Rangeline. Hui, it's been a week now. 62 degrees is where we stand, so a little bit of a cold front worked in after our storm system rolled through overnight, but as you can tell, it actually has finally rolled through as we now even begin to clear off to the west and to the northwest right there. And as we push through our day, we're looking at a weather trend that's going to put us up into the 70s. So much cooler than what we've had past couple of days where we've been able to be up into the 70s. So really high 60s, low 70s, as good as we're going to get today. As far as what we've got on future track, though, it's going to be nice to actually sit back and enjoy what we've got coming at us. Now, with that being said, I do still want to point out that throughout southwest Missouri, we have flood warnings and flood advisories. So know that our water not going to go anywhere, especially for our rivers. Going to target the Osage, Little Osage, and Marmaton on those. For the old 7-day forecast, we're going to go 69 and 68 on Saturday and Sunday. Monday, looking good, 30% chance, temperatures in the mid-70s.
And the fact that we get a break in the rain.
Welcome to the party. Yeah, whole bunch of 70s after that.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Yeah, even a mild weekend, we can handle that. Good Memorial Day weekend. We'll take it. It rained too much yesterday.
I was on the road, I don't know.
All right, we'll move along. Authorities make an arrest in connection with the escape of 2 Southeast Kansas inmates. They say the suspect, a 26-year-old woman, helped the inmates escape. She faces charges that include felony aiding a fugitive and obstructing justice. The 2 escapees are still on the loose. They are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins. Authorities say the 2 escaped through plumbing in the Columbus jail. The men are considered armed and dangerous. Hopkins was in jail in connection with a June double homicide, and Martzloff was held on felony narcotic charges. Anyone with information should contact the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. Southwest Missouri couple agrees to plea deals for not getting medical attention for her 3-year-old son. 27-year-old Sarah Garby of Verona pleaded guilty to first-degree child endangerment. Her boyfriend, Caleb Williams, entered an Alfred plea to 2 counts of child endangerment. The plea deals include participation in a 120-day treatment program. Depending on the outcome of that program, they could be released on probation. Authorities continue the search for a 12-year-old girl swept away in Newton County's Shoal Creek on Wednesday. At around 4 p.m. Wednesday, officers arrived at the Lime Kiln Park north of Neosho for the water rescue. They were told 12-year-old Kaylin Brown had been pulled under by strong currents and that 34-year-old Trevor Hicks had gone under to try to rescue her. Hicks was rescued and transported to the hospital and at last report was in critical condition.
It got dark, water rescue, and being in the water just isn't safe after dark. At that point, we believe it had turned into a recovery instead of a rescue. It's been way too long.
The search was ended shortly after 1 p.m. Thursday due to severe weather. It will resume this morning. Authorities say the park will remain closed until Brown is found. Thursday's heavy rains brought flood warnings and even flooded parks to Joplin. Flooded parks and flooded driveways typically mean flooded roadways. Thursday was no exception. Jasper County Emergency Manager advises 4-state motorists to stick to the old adage of turn around, don't drown when approaching a water-filled roadway. But what if you find yourself in a car already trapped in moving floodwaters?
The conventional wisdom is get out. I agree with that because particularly you need to understand that that particular vehicle is going to the bottom, and which is not where you want to be.
Provided a link to the MoDOT map, which provides updates on road closures due to flooding. You can find it in this article on KOAMnewsnow.com. Also in Joplin, a lightning struck a tree and downed a branch. There were no damages other than the tree. The homeowner tells us at first he did not know what happened.
Well, we were just sitting inside watching the storm come by, and we heard a noise outside and looked outside, and this big tree came down.
Wilson County, Kansas crews say lightning yesterday morning sparked a tank battery fire south of Neodesha. A tank battery is a group of connected tanks that receive crude oil. A foam truck from Coffeyville Resources helped put out the fire. There were no injuries. People in the Joplin area have several options for shelter if the severe weather has them feeling unsafe in their own homes. The Joplin School District has community safe rooms at their schools, although the one at Columbia Elementary is temporarily unavailable. But what about wearing masks if you have to go to one? The Jasper County Emergency Manager says keep things simple and follow the rules of the safe room.
Two concern is masking, and that depends on a couple factors, one of which is the masking policy for the local entity that operates the shelter. The second one is your own concerns as well. You can't go wrong by wearing a mask.
For links to a list of the community safe rooms run by the Joplin School District and their rules, click on this article on KOAMnewsnow.com. It's 5:07.
Flood warnings because of all the rain that we've had this week. Look down here along I-44. We're talking 3 to 6 inches of rain. That dates back just to Monday alone. Temperatures right now into the mid-50s to low 60s. It will be considerably cooler than what we've had past couple of days, as we will only make it up into the high 60s, low 70s this afternoon. But headed into the weekend, at least we get a chance to dry out and get some sunshine for 3 consecutive days.
Morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, cash prizes for vaccines.
Calling out big bucks to get more people vaccinated. I'm Kevin Cork in Washington with more on how much the incentives are expected to cost. That's coming up.
Plus, the Webb City girls soccer team aims to move on to the Final Four for the first time in program history. We hear from the head coach on how they're preparing for this weekend. And a Bigfoot documentary in the making in Oklahoma. We hear from one state lawmaker on what he hopes the documentary accomplishes. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Frontenac softball team returned to the 3A state tournament. The Raiders began their quest for a 3rd championship in 6 years last night in Manhattan. Took on Silver Lake in the quarterfinals, and it was a tough one for the Raiders as they fall 7-6 to end the season with a 19-5 overall record. In the 2A bracket, Colgan takes care of business against Spearville, winning 6-2. The Panthers, they face Mission Valley High School in the semifinals this morning at 11. The Colgan baseball team also in action in the 2A bracket last night. Their quarterfinal game against Valley Falls, well, 2-2 in the 15th inning. Last time we heard, we'll make sure that thing didn't finish here. Frontenac beat Heston 17-3 in the quarterfinals. It was 11-0 after the first inning. Raiders playing the state semifinals this afternoon. Webb City girls still alive for a soccer state championship as the Cards will be in action this weekend in the state quarterfinals. Our own Danny Terzer catches up with the team as they aim to move on to the Final Four for the first time in program history.
Webb City is breaking records this year, and they're not done yet.
For them to make history and multiple times throughout the season the way they have says a lot about their ability as players, but also their character as young people.
The Cardinals have earned a spot in the quarterfinal round of the state tournament, their first appearance in program history.
I think we proved the last 3 postseason games and all along throughout the regular season that we can face adversity and we can come out on top.
Right there, let's go. Double, 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 good.
We've been playing harder teams and we've been succeeding and I think growing a lot as a team.
Webb City topped Willard in the sectional round on Tuesday. After trailing 1-0, the girls battled back to win 4-2.
I think it's going to boost us and help us into the next game.
Senior leadership has made a big impact this year.
Without them, it's without a doubt, we would not have the success that we've had this year.
We've all been like around since whenever we won districts last time. I think it's like we can all show like the younger kids like what it feels like and how hard we need to work in order to like achieve our goals.
The theme this season has been to play for one another.
If we're playing together and unified in our approach to the game, whatever our strategy is, then we have a really good chance of coming out on top.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. That's good, Cree.
The Cardinals have a dominant 22-3 record, but it was in their win against Ozark, their first ever win over the Tigers, where they realized their potential.
I think that was, for the girls especially, the first moment in the season where they realized, like, hey, we could really go all the way.
Woo, nutmeg!
Webb City is just 3 wins away from bringing home the program's first state title.
I think for the girls, it's a really neat opportunity to leave their legacy, and for the senior group that has led so strongly from the get-go, for them to leave their mark on the community.
We've made kind of a big splash, and so I think we've got some expectations, but I think we're pretty ready to try to meet them.
In Webb City, Danny Cherzer, KOAM Sports.
Cardinals get a home game in the quarterfinals this weekend, hosting Union. That's going to take place Saturday at 3 p.m. Pittsburgh High School has a new strength and conditioning coach. His name, very familiar to 4 states, especially when it comes to football. It's that dude right there, and a great dude that he is, Josh Latimer. Now, Latimer is going to take over the job after spending nearly 4 years as an assistant coach for Pitt State. Fort Scott native. He's been a defensive line coach for the Gorillas since 2017. He also played for the Gorillas in college, earning All-American honors twice for PSU. Here's Josh Lattimore on his new opportunity at Pittsburgh High School.
The main thing is to get these guys motivated and bring the juice every day and have them prepared to compete for the coaches whenever they get out on the gridiron or on the court or out on the course. Whatever it may be, the wrestling mat and so forth, just have those guys energized and to have them ready to compete at the full potential they can get.
Best part about Josh is, man, just watching the kids around him and how much they love watching him play. For those of you who may be a little too young, Josh Lattimore was one of the most amazing running back / linebackers that have come out of Southeast Kansas in a long, long time. Congratulations, Josh. You can check out our full story with Latimer at our sports page, KOAMNewsNow.com. So to come on the KOAM Morning News, a continuing surge at the border.
Administration claims the border is closed, but that is not what we're seeing here on the ground in the Rio Grande Valley. I'm Bill Malugin. We'll have that story for you coming up.
And to check out our 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Chevy is
A little past 5:17 on this Friday morning, and finally a chance to just sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and not have to worry about any type of severe weather rolling through for the next couple of days as everything is pushed off east of the Mississippi right now. And we've got some high pressure settling in from the upper plains that is actually going to take care of us, give us some sunshine, going to give us some cooler temperatures from what we've had, but at least give us some sunshine and some dry weather. Already beginning to break on the western edge of southeast Kansas right there. Still do have a line of heavy cloud cover stretching from northeast Oklahoma up through the southern edge of southwest Missouri. And speaking of that same area, let's talk about our flood warnings. These are supposed to expire at 9:45. Not everything that you see popping up green right there as a flood warning is going to be able to expire at that time this morning, but gives you an idea. We're not going to have any more than what we had. We're talking about this week down here along I-44. That pink and purple, we're talking about 6-7 inches since Monday. That's just a week alone. Up on top right there, Joplin, 3 to 5 inches of rain. And so, yeah, we deserve a nice little break. 62 degrees as we look over 7th and Rangeline right now. Now, the cold front is going to make it a little bit different as far as our temperatures go for the next 2 days. We'll be high 60s, still low 70 every now and then. but not the 80s that we've had past couple of days, but we'll take it. As long as we get a chance to dry out and Memorial Day, it's still nice temperatures, and don't let it wash out your plans. It's going to be the scattered variety. All right, we got a film crew. KOAM News Now Facebook page. Morning Instapoll. We got a film crew making a Bigfoot documentary in Oklahoma. Now, most of it's going to be shot in the town of Honobia. That's where the Bigfoot myth is. It's huge down there. Wayne Stafford has the story of the documentarians who stopped by the Capitol, and now they're getting support from a lawmaker.
This all started when State Representative Justin Humphrey authored a Bigfoot hunting season bill, and he's open about why he did it.
I had a festival in Honobia, Oklahoma, that I knew that if we put a little light on it, that we could grow that festival. And so I did a shell bill just so people would come out and go, hey, get a lot of attention. I knew it'd fuzz up some people and we'd get a little attention. And I thought it would just bring people, be good tourism promotion.
But apparently Bigfoot has some history in the Sooner State.
Stories, reports, native reports. We have newspaper clippings and articles dating back all throughout not just Oklahoma history, but American history for that matter.
As for Representative Humphrey, he didn't say whether or not he believes in Bigfoot.
Do I believe in Bigfoot? I am the guy that is very open-minded.
But he did say there is a $3 million reward for a live Bigfoot capture.
We're going to offer a $3 million. We raised the bounty today, $3 million for a live capture, unharmed.
It's Friday, folks. Don't at me. As a matter of fact, you can send me a message on Facebook. We'll see if I ever get to it. Does Bigfoot exist? KOAMNewsNow.com/vote. Healthwatch next.
Wind and tailwind.
Topping Healthwatch this morning, more and more states are starting to believe in the old saying that money talks, as cash prizes are becoming a bigger trend to try and get more Americans to line up for a vaccine. Kevin Cork reports.
In an effort to breathe new life into the vaccine rollout, more states are offering huge cash incentives. In California, officials estimate around 12 million eligible people have yet to be vaccinated. So the state is now setting aside a record-breaking $116.5 million to help generate interest in the shots. $100 million of that will go towards gift cards for the next 2 million people who get the vaccine.
If you're 12 years or older, you can receive a $50 incentive card.
While the remaining $16.5 million will be split up into lottery prizes, including $1.5 million for 10 lucky individuals and $50,000 for another 30 residents.
Has a first prize of $5 million, but a number of prizes that go down to $20.
On the East Coast, New York has also set up a lottery, as businesses in the Big Apple are offering perks if you can prove you got your shot.
I came for my free cheesecake.
Meanwhile, in Ohio, the first state to create a vaccine lottery, some of the first winners are finally coming forward to collect their prizes.
I started yelling that I won $1 million and I was going to be a millionaire.
And it would appear the vaccine lottery trend is spreading as additional states are now setting them up, including in Colorado, Delaware, Kentucky, Maryland, and the great state of Oregon.
Well, a new study links acetaminophen use during pregnancy to symptoms of ADHD and autism. Researchers tracked nearly 74,000 children in Europe and found if their mothers took acetaminophen during pregnancy, they were about 20% more likely to develop ADHD and autism symptoms compared to children whose mothers did not take acetaminophen. Let's look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Really freaked out because you never want to hear a reporter say, meanwhile in Ohio. You're just waiting for the other shoe to drop when that line comes out of somebody's mouth. Clearing skies out to the west. Still have some heavy cloud cover there throughout northeast Oklahoma and the southern portion of southwest Missouri. That's going to really kind of back off our temperatures now that this cold front has rolled through after 36 hours of constant severe weather. Flood warnings in effect for our counties in green. Some of those are set to expire, the county-wide ones, Those are set to expire later this morning. Our ones for our rivers, mainly the Osage, Little Osage, and Spring River, those are definitely not going to expire until the weekend. Now, speaking of the weekend, temperatures pretty mild, high 60s, low 70s. A little shot for rain there, increases on Memorial Day. Don't let it wash out your plans. It's going to be scattered. It'll be light as well. Not going to look at anything severe as we head into our holiday weekend. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
When you let the
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach. The rain is gone for now. Thank goodness. Enjoy this cool, dry day, and let's go straight to Michael Hayslip with a first look at your forecast.
We're going to talk about the 7-day forecast first because I know everybody's talking about Memorial Day weekend. And not too bad. We're talking about temperatures in the high 60s for today and tomorrow. A little shot for some scattered rain on Sunday, but warming up. Then, as we talk about Memorial Day itself, rain picks up, but kind of after 1 p.m. And so it's not, not one of those things. Don't let it wash out anything. I'm right now looking at the old Missouri Department of Transportation page because earlier this morning we had Route D that was closed in Jasper County and Route C down in McDonald County that was also closed. So we're going to continue to update those. Check those Department of Transportation websites in your specific state before you take off. The reports that we had obviously coming off of last night were down around and south of I-44 with the torrential rainfall, and we're looking at anywhere from 6 to 8 inches around portions in between. Take a triangle, go Neosho, Monette, Joplin. Take that triangle right there. 6 to 8 inches of rain. Temperatures today, we should be in the high 70s. We're only going to be in the high 60s, but it's okay because all the rain can just stay out to the east. Finally, we need that. And we'll get a whole bunch of sunshine not only today, but also tomorrow. Also of note, look at our overnight lows here. It's going to get a little bit chilly each night here for the next 2 days because we're going to drop down into the 40s. Normally this time of year, we should only be in the high 50s by the time we kind of cool off after sunset. Don't need an air conditioner though.
I know, that'll be nice. Cool evenings, pleasant days.
One thing brought to my attention yesterday that I didn't think about, for those of you that may have early morning activities, baseball, softball, track, might be a little bit cool out there. Not for the athletes. Talking moms and dads, grandmas, grandpas. Might want to take a jacket.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, if you're packing to get out of town, it may not just be shorts weather.
Oh, don't get out of town. Sit back and enjoy. Sit back and enjoy this and watch the water recede here for a couple days.
All right, thanks, Michael. Well, authorities make an arrest in connection with the escape of 2 Southeast Kansas inmates. They say the suspect, a 26-year-old woman, helped the inmates escape. She faces charges that include felony aiding a fugitive and obstructing justice. The 2 escapees are still on the loose. They are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins. Authorities say the 2 escaped through plumbing in the Columbus jail. The men are considered armed and dangerous. Hopkins was in jail in connection with the June double homicide, and Martzloff was held on felony narcotic charges. Anyone with information should contact the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. A Southwest Missouri couple agrees to plea deals for not getting medical attention for her 3-year-old son. 27-year-old Sarah Garby of Verona pleaded guilty to first-degree child endangerment. Her boyfriend, Caleb Williams, entered an Alford plea to 2 counts of endangerment. The plea deals include participation in a 120-day treatment program. Depending on the outcome of that program, they could be released on probation. Authorities continue the search for a 12-year-old girl swept away in Newton County's Shoal Creek on Wednesday. At around 4 p.m. Wednesday, officers arrived at the Lime Kiln Park north of Neosho for the water rescue. They were told 12-year-old Kaylin Brown had been pulled under by strong currents and that 34-year-old Trevor Hicks had gone under to try to rescue her. Hicks was rescued and transported to the hospital, and at last report was in critical condition.
It got dark, water rescue, and being in the water just isn't safe after dark. At that point, we believe it had turned into a recovery instead of a rescue. It's been way too long.
The search was ended shortly after 1 p.m. Thursday due to severe weather. It will resume this morning. Authorities say the park will remain closed until Brown is found. Joplin police and fire crews are busy with water rescues on streets and parking lots around much of the city. Yesterday, this is in the area of 4th and Turk Streets, where authorities rescued people from a vehicle trapped in high water yesterday afternoon. Well, crews have performed a number of rescues along 32nd Street as well. In some places, they found vehicles abandoned in high water and have tried to determine whether the occupants managed to escape safely. Thursday's heavy rains brought flood warnings and even flooded parks to Joplin. Flooded parks and flooded driveways typically mean flooded roadways, and Thursday was no exception. Jasper County Emergency Manager advises 4-state motorists to stick to the old adage of turn around, don't drown when approaching a water-filled roadway. But what if you find yourself in a car already trapped in moving floodwaters?
The conventional wisdom is get out. I agree with that because particularly you need to understand that that particular vehicle is going to the bottom, and which is not where you want to be.
We've provided a link to the MoDOT map, which provides updates on road closures due to flooding. You can find it in this article on KOAMnewsnow.com. Wilson County, Kansas crews say lightning yesterday morning sparked a tank battery fire south of Neodesha. A tank battery is a group of connected tanks that receive crude oil. A foam truck from Coffeyville Resources helped put out the fire. There were no injuries. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, our final spotlight on Branson. We preview Dick Clark's American Bandstand Theater and the Group 6. Plus, groups of migrants continue to pour across the southern U.S. border, even as the Biden administration says the border is closed. We'll have the latest, but first, it's 5:37.
We're talking about road closings from the Department of Transportation, specifically down in southwest Missouri right now. We've got Highway 76 in McDonald County. It is closed. We also have Route CC and Route AA in Newton and McDonald County that is closed because of high water. Throw Route W in there. And then also, too, of note, we've got 97 and 37, but be apprised, too, on I-49, you not only have delays for resurfacing, but now you've got 86, the Racine exit. The 86 exit is flooded. So if you have to be on I-49 this morning and you're headed south or you live down there, please know that that's going to be a problematic spot until this water recedes later on today. That's why those flood warnings last until 9:45. Temperatures today, high 60s, but at least we get sunshine for the next consecutive days till we get a shot for some light rain on Sunday. Mainly Memorial Day rain wants to hit in the afternoon hours. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News and World Watch next.
And then I just got
Topping World Watch, migrants continue to cross over the border from Mexico into Texas as the Biden administration says the border is closed. Bill Malugan is in the Rio Grande Valley with the latest.
Flight team shows illegal immigrants fleeing from Border Patrol in La Jolla, Texas early Thursday morning after they rushed the U.S. border. It's a scene we've witnessed happening almost daily here in the Rio Grande Valley. Our Fox cameras also on scene this morning in Granjeno, where Border Patrol tracked down and apprehended another group of runners that had climbed over the border levee and ran 4 miles inland before trying to hide from agents in the brush unsuccessfully. On Wednesday, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas tripled down, insisting yet again the border is secure.
The border is closed.
But Texas Governor Greg Abbott pushing back today, saying his state troopers are having to do the federal government's job here at the border. We saw heavily armed Texas state trooper gunboats patrolling the Rio Grande in Mission, Texas. Abbott says state troopers have arrested 1,100 criminals and 33,000 illegal immigrants during this surge.
The border security policies changed overnight under the Biden administration. One was the elimination of the Remain in Mexico policy, and the other was the clear message that they were going to be welcoming in everybody.
Meanwhile, in Texas's Del Rio sector, Border Patrol reports agents apprehended 10 convicted sex offenders who crossed illegally in just 1 week. And in Hidalgo, we encountered this group of Guatemalans apprehended by Border Patrol after hiding in the brush next to a U-Haul store. This man told me this was his 5th time trying to cross into the U.S., and he paid a smuggler $10,000 to do so.
Que hablen por nosotros, que el presidente se apiade un poco de nosotros, que nos dé una oportunidad a los adultos de progresar.
And some of the migrants who crossed illegally here Thursday morning did so by using this makeshift hook and ladder system. Take a look at it. They built it out of PVC pipe. They've got an O-ring on here, and what they do is they put a long pole through it, they lift it up, they place it on top of the border wall levee, they clip it on, and they climb right over with it.
Suez Canal authorities released more information on Thursday regarding the container ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal in March. Officials said the Ever Given ship faced steering problems from bad weather and high winds on the waterway due to the ship's speed and incorrect rudder size, with the SCA chairman saying, quote, there were a lot of technical faults. Among those was that the rudder's size was not appropriate to the size of the ship. The Ever Given was stuck in the Maritime Passage for 6 days before being freed. The Holy Spirit is brewing again at a Belgium abbey. The priests of Grimbergen Abbey have gone back to brewing beer for the first time in 200 years. It was a tradition that ended after the abbey was burned down and ransacked by French troops in 1798. But with prayers and a blessing, beer is back in what members say is a second life for the abbey and the community.
Well, we know that from the beginning our abbey is founded in 1128, and we think around 1130 that the sisters who lived together with the brothers here in the beginning of the abbey life, that they make the beer here. So from 1130 we make here Grimbergen beer.
The core business was religious life, but brewing was necessary because water at that moment in the Middle Ages wasn't drinkable, and also it was a kind of payment. They paid the employees who were working for the abbey with beer and bread.
Sounds like a good deal. To celebrate, the abbey is releasing 3 new Grimbergen beers. And to follow in the tradition of Belgium's Trappist beer makers, profits from beer sales will be put towards charitable causes and the upkeep of the abbey. A wild ride of a NASA helicopter following in-flight problems. The Ingenuity, an experimental helicopter, experienced its first major in-flight issue since it took to the skies last month. Experts are calling the problem a navigation timing error. The trouble taking place about a minute into the 6th test flight of the helicopter last Saturday. Helicopter was at an altitude of 33 feet at the time. It landed within 16 feet of its intended touchdown site. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Let's toss it over to Michael for our Something to Talk About.
You dive into this morning on the KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll. A film crew working to make a Bigfoot documentary, and they're doing it in Oklahoma. Most of the shooting is going to be in the town of Honobia. That's where the Bigfoot myth quite huge. It all started when State Representative Justin Humphrey authored the Bigfoot hunting season bill. Says he wanted to shed light on Honobia's annual Bigfoot festival and bring tourism into the Sooner State. Tentative air date for the documentary is this January. Our question is simple enough. Do you believe Bigfoot exists? 53% of you say you're believers. And you can make your voice heard by going to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Stay with us next week when we take on the 5-headed dragon known as Hiram McDaniels. We'll be back with the news you need to know before you head out the door right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Detectives and FBI agents in San Jose, California are working to determine what led 57-year-old Samuel Cassidy to gun down 9 co-workers at the Valley Transportation Authority. A federal official confirms to CBS News U.S. Customs officers had previously detained Cassidy after a trip to the Philippines in 2016. They noted he professed a hatred of his workplace and was carrying books about terrorism. Authorities continue the search for a 12-year-old girl swept away in Newton County's Shoal Creek on Wednesday. At around 4 p.m. Wednesday, officers arrived at the Lime Kiln Park north of Neosho for the water rescue. They were told 12-year-old Kaylin Brown had been pulled under by strong currents and that 34-year-old Trevor Hicks had gone under to try to rescue her. The search was ended shortly after 1 p.m. on Thursday due to severe weather. It will resume this morning. Authorities say the park will remain closed until Brown is found. Authorities make an arrest in connection with the escape of 2 Southeast Kansas inmates. They say the suspect, a 26-year-old woman, helped the inmates escape. She faces charges that include felony aiding a fugitive and obstructing justice. The 2 escapees are still on the loose. They are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins. Authorities say the 2 escaped through plumbing in the Columbus jail. The men are considered armed and dangerous. And a Southwest Missouri couple agrees to plea deals for not getting medical attention for her 3-year-old son. 27-year-old Sarah Garby of Verona pleaded guilty to first-degree child endangerment. Her boyfriend, Caleb Williams, entered an Alford plea to 2 counts of endangerment. Plea deals include participation in a 120-day treatment program. Depending on the outcome of that program, they could be released on probation. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Finally, a break from the severe weather, a break from the rain, a good dose of sunshine, and very mild temperatures. As a matter of fact, even with all the sun that we'll get today, we'll only be up into the mid to high 60s compared to the low 80s that we were rolling with all the thunderstorm activity. Speaking of the thunderstorm activity, we still do have plenty of residual flooding that's left over along I-44 and down to the south. We're talking about 6 to 8 inches of rain in certain places. So that gives you an idea right there where our current flood warnings are. Now, while those are set to expire at 9:45 this morning, not going to be surprised if the ones specifically for our rivers are not extended until the weekend, because when we look at the rain that we've gotten this past week, and I'm going to drop down here in 2 places. Let's go right underneath Monette. 5.2 inches. Now, let's go right above Grove. It's going to be the southern tip of Ottawa County. 7.4 inches of rain. That is since Monday. So as we push into Memorial Day weekend, the mild temperatures remain. We do have the shot for some scattered rain on Sunday. And then Memorial Day, very nice, 74 degrees. The rain is going to kick in for the afternoon hours. It'll be mainly after 2 p.m. And not looking at anything severe. We'll be back with more KOAM morning news and Spotlight on Branson right after this.
Welcome back to Spotlight on Branson. We are now here at Dick Clark's American Bandstand Theater, and I'm seated next to Jack Knutson with Six. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Rye. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much. So there's a lot of people who've heard of you guys, but have never had a chance to see you or don't exactly know what you're about. So just kind of in your own words, start by telling me who you are and what you guys do.
Six, we're all brothers, and we are an a cappella group. We have a beatboxer. We sound like a band. Very interactive show, very high energy show. We're probably the only show in Branson that doesn't use any kind of tracks. It's a very honest show. It's the most honest show you'll ever see.
Awesome, and you have a pretty interesting story about how you got your start. So if you could just kind of tell me about how you got from your early beginnings to now going on your 15th season here in Branson.
Our dad started us when we were real young, inspired by the Osmonds and the Jacksons, and then he dropped out 3 years after that, and we just kind of went on, and then we got more serious about it in '87, moved out to Los Angeles, started singing on the streets, started getting better gigs, and just kind of went from there.
Very cool. And a lot of people talk about the Six experience, and you kind of touched on it briefly, but you know, it's more than just about the a cappella, more than just about the music. It truly is an immersive experience here, correct?
It is, and we share a lot about our family, and our goal is to have everyone walking out here feeling better than when they came in, and it's try to hit on everything, every emotion you can experience at a show, whether it be laughing, whether it be crying, because you were touched, your heart was touched by what we do. It's a very, you're right, it's a very immersive experience.
Very cool. And if somebody has seen you before, but would like to come back here in 2021 and see you again, is there anything new you guys have?
We're always changing the show, and we're getting ready to put in 3 new things. If you like the Beatles, that's a good hint, and other stuff. So,
well, Jack, if anybody wants to buy tickets, what's the best way to do that?
Call the box office, 6 Show, and it'll take you straight to the box office. Or go to our website, the6show.com, and order tickets there.
Awesome. Jack, hey, thanks again so much, and make sure you check out 6 when you're in Branson.
You bet.
Memorial. Wouldn't exactly say it's chilly outside. It's just a far cry from what we've had past couple of days, so it certainly doesn't feel different on this Friday morning with temperatures in the mid-50s to low 60s. All that being said, let's just enjoy the fact that we can go to the Skywatch Storm Tracker and not have to worry about any rain. As a matter of fact, as we push through into Memorial Day weekend, we're able to stay on the clear side. And if that humidity during the afternoon was a little too much for you this early in the year, completely understand, and so it's going to be very nice to ride high 60s, low 70s into Memorial Day weekend. With all that being said, we still do have flood warnings abound, especially south of I-44 through northeast Oklahoma and southern southwest Missouri, and we're going to pick up some additional rain, albeit scattered on Sunday, and then really on Memorial Day, it's going to hold off until the afternoon. So got morning plans, don't let that get in your way. We'll be back right after this.
Authorities arrest a woman for helping 2 Cherokee County inmates escape. Plus, a Southwest Missouri couple pleads guilty to first-degree child endangerment. And the search continues this morning for a 12-year-old swept away by Shoal Creek Wednesday afternoon.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. The rain is gone for now. Thank goodness. Enjoy the cool, dry day today and the weekend. Let's go straight to Michael Hayslip with a first look at your forecast.
Really is a nice picture over 7th and Rangeline. Even though it's got a little bit overcast, the fact that we don't have any raindrops, we're going to call that a win for the time being. Our current conditions, the wind is picking up just a little bit out of the north-northwest. And so while we're just coming off of that last weather hit, I don't want to call today cool by any means, not chilly. It's just a far cry when you're used to having 67, 68, 69 pre-sunrise like we had when we had to do our 36 hours of severe weather. You walk outside right now and it's 61, you go, oh, I'm not familiar with this. The Skywatch Storm Tracker has pushed everything off to the far east. We got a high pressure system sitting off to the west and to the north, and that's what's going to clear out our skies for the time being. As you can tell, that cloud cover is a little bit heavier as you get into eastern southwest Missouri and definitely through northeast Oklahoma and our counties south of I-44. But everybody's going to clear off, and temperatures high 60s, low 70s today. And we do that even with the sunshine. It's the cold front, result of a cold front that dropped in after the storm system from last night. Future track is going to feed us temperatures that are going to be very mild for this year and back-to-back days. Saturday is almost going to be the same as today. So enjoy that because we will have the reemergence of some scattered showers on Sunday. For Memorial Day, anything that you got planned for the morning hours is going to be absolutely fine. Rain is going to kick in probably after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Kind of roll through that, not looking at anything severe. But on top of that, we're also talking about places that have already absorbed 6 to 8 inches since Monday, especially in our southern counties. And so we definitely are going to have to watch our rivers there Sunday night and Monday afternoon into Tuesday.
Like the old adage says, turn around, don't drown.
Yes.
All right.
National Weather Service reminding us that flooding is impossible to see at night. That was their message for the day.
It's very true, though.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Be familiar with where you're going. Know the low-lying areas.
Right, know your area.
Yes.
And just plan on avoiding them for the next several days. I mean, go to your Department of Transportation page, folks. Check that out before you, especially if you have a Memorial Day plans and you have to go south. Because right now, we still have a number of roadways, especially in Newton and McDonald County, that still have water on them.
And we have a link to those road closures you can find on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Well, authorities make an arrest in connection with the escape of 2 Southeast Kansas inmates. They say the suspect, a 26-year-old woman, helped the inmates escape. She faces charges that include felony aiding a fugitive and obstructing justice. The two escapees are still on the loose. They are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins. Authorities say the two escaped through plumbing in the Columbus jail. The men are considered armed and dangerous. Hopkins was in jail in connection with a June double homicide, and Martzloff was held on felony narcotic charges. Anyone with information should contact the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. A Southwest Missouri couple agrees to plea deals for not getting medical attention for her 3-year-old son. 27-year-old Sarah Garby of Verona pleaded guilty to first-degree child endangerment. Her boyfriend, Caleb Williams, entered an Alford plea to 2 counts of endangerment. The plea deals include participation in a 120-day treatment program. Depending on the outcome of that program, they could be released on probation. Authorities continue the search for a 12-year-old girl swept away in Newton County's Shoal Creek on Wednesday. At around 4 p.m. Wednesday, officers arrived at the Lime Kiln Park north of Neosho for the water rescue. They were told 12-year-old Kaylin Brown had been pulled under by strong currents and that 34-year-old Trevor Hicks had gone under to try to rescue her. Hicks was rescued and transported to the hospital and at last report was in critical condition.
It got dark, water rescue, and being in the water just isn't safe after dark. At that point, we believe it had turned into a recovery instead of a rescue. It's been way too long.
Search was ended shortly after 1 p.m. Thursday due to severe weather. It will resume this morning. Authorities say the park will remain closed until Brown is found. Thursday's heavy rains brought flood warnings and even flooded parks to Joplin. Flooded parks and flooded driveways typically mean flooded roadways, and Thursday was no exception. Jasper County Emergency Manager advises 4-state motorists to stick to the old adage of turn around, don't drown when approaching a water-filled roadway. But what if you find yourself in a car already trapped in moving floodwaters?
The conventional wisdom is get out. I agree with that because particularly you need to understand that that particular vehicle is going to the bottom, and which is not where you want to be.
We've provided a link to the MoDOT map, which provides updates on road closures due to flooding. You can find it in this article on KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, people in the Joplin area have several options for shelter if the severe weather has them feeling unsafe in their own homes. The Joplin School District has community safe rooms at their schools, although remember the one at Columbia Elementary is temporarily unavailable. But what about wearing masks if you have to go to one? The Jasper County Emergency Manager says keep things simple. Follow the rules of the safe room.
Number 1 concern is get people into shelter. Number 2 concern is masking, and that depends on a couple factors, one of which is the masking policy for the local entity that operates the shelter. The second one is your own concerns as well. You can't go wrong by wearing a mask.
For links to a list of the community safe rooms run by the Joplin School District and their rules, click on this article on KOAMnewsnow.com. Wilson County, Kansas crews say lightning yesterday morning sparked a tank battery fire south of Neodesha. A tank battery is a group of connected tanks that receive crude oil. A foam truck from Coffeyville Resources helped put out the fire, and there were no injuries. Once the rain clears, pool owners are going to have some cleaning to do, but a key chemical might be a little harder to find. Apparently there's a shortage in chlorine, and that's partly due to a fire last summer at a Louisiana chlorine plant. It affects only pool owners who use chlorine tablets. We spoke with the program director at the YMCA, which has already bought its chlorine for the upcoming season, but worries that supply could run out and could need to close down early for the season.
Yeah, if it's a really hot, sunny summer, you end up using more chlorine in your pool. And, even though we've planned on what we expect need for the whole season, we could potentially run low toward the end.
The YMCA says they're concerned about needing to find more chlorine should they run out due to chlorine tabs being difficult to find and more expensive than usual. 6:07.
Here's a look at our flood warnings that we have. County-wide ones set to expire at 9:45 this morning. Our ones for our rivers, specifically the Spring, the Neosho, the Osage, and the Little Osage, will last until the weekend. Temperatures today in the high 60s, low 70s. Whole bunch of sunshine for the next 2 days before we begin some Sunday afternoon and evening rain and Memorial Day rain kicking in for the afternoon as well.
Means top stories in weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, sky-high tensions.
are hitting the road and taking to the skies this holiday weekend. I'm Laura Podesta at LaGuardia Airport in New York City with a disturbing video showing the uptick in unruly passenger behavior.
Plus, a look at a new study from the CDC on breakthrough COVID infections. And we'll tell you who's taking over the time slot held by the late Rush Limbaugh. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Next year's Oscars ceremony will be a month later than planned. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Scientists is postponing the show until March 27th. Spokesperson says the change is to avoid big events like the Super Bowl and Olympics and allow more time for production. The ceremony will be at its usual Hollywood location, and the Academy hopes it will be in person. Well, the company that syndicated the late conservative talk show host Rush Limbaugh's program has announced who will step into Limbaugh's time slot. Premier Network says the slot will now be occupied by Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. Sexton has had a more traditional career in conservative media. Travis is largely known for his commentary on sports, but has also sparked controversy for sexist remarks. Both have been supportive of former President Trump. The program, aptly named The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, oh boy, that was creative, will air from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. It'll debut on June 21st. You'll remember Limbaugh died in February after a battle with cancer. He was 70 years old. All right. Hey, Michael, you want to come join me?
No, because I want to move the cam.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, here. So here's a live look outside of Television City. Here, I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you why I wasn't joining you. That's a pretty cool sight right there from 7th and Rangeline. No, I just love how smooth this new camera is because we can do things like this. We can pan over to the east, and you go, oh, looks kind of overcast, kind of gloomy, not sure what's going to happen. Oh, what do we have? That's right, a little break in the clouds right there. Going to end up being an absolutely marvelous morning. It's going to look gorgeous. Now, we do have a little north wind that's coming in. I don't want to say there's a chill in the air by any means, but it is double digits right now. Boom, TV magic. It is double digits right now in Chanute and Nevada. Independence now up to 10 miles an hour along with Joplin. And so it's just cooler than what we've had past couple of days. But the nice thing is a clean Skywatch storm tracker. That's the important part coming off of the severe weather that we had for 36 hours. Now, if you're living down south of I-44, if you're traveling for Memorial Day weekend, KOAMnewsnow.com is going to link you to each of our state's Department of Transportation pages. And I want you to pay close attention before you leave. It's worth checking because we still have waters on roadways, especially when we talk about Newton and McDonald County in southwest Missouri. So make sure you pay attention to that before you take off. I just want everybody to be safe and have a great Memorial Day weekend. Speaking of mild temps, a little rain Sunday afternoon, Memorial Day rain kicking in after about 1 p.m. Temperatures up into the mid-70s. We'll be right back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
In Money Watch, millions of Americans will be traveling over the next few days for Memorial Day weekend. A disturbing video is highlighting the problems airlines are facing with unruly passengers. CBS's Laura Podesta has details.
Startling video of an attack on a Southwest flight attendant earlier this week shows tensions in the skies are high.
And they stopped shoveling each other. And next time I saw, "Don't touch me," they start yelling. The lady stood up and pow.
The flight attendant lost 2 teeth. Viviana Quinones was later arrested. Passengers say the attendant was arguing with someone about their mask while leaning over Quinones.
Frustration from the first altercation was still brewing in all of them, including the flight attendant, no doubt. And so it just escalated very, very fast.
The FAA says there have been 2,500 reports of unruly behavior in 2021, most related to the federal mask mandate. Typically, there are 100 to 150 formal cases per year.
Being called names, being treated hostilely, having their lanyards pulled.
Today is usually the busiest travel day of the Memorial Day weekend. AAA expects more than 34 million Americans to drive and 2.5 million to fly.
Now to be able to go with really hardly any restrictions and be able to take my mom out
is a blessing.
Some are still getting used to the crowds.
There are times where I am a little weary just because of the amount of people that are traveling.
For those hitting the road, they'll feel a pinch in their wallet. The national average for a gallon of gas is $3.04, more than $1 higher than last year. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Well, the average price of gas is the highest it's been in 7 years. GasBuddy.com says the prices are higher mostly because oil companies cut production last year, and now demand has outpaced supply. It's National Burger Day, and some major chains are grilling up deals to help celebrate. Kicking off Memorial Day weekend is National Burger Day Friday. Holiday devoted to everyone's favorite cookout falls on May 28th every year. This year, folks can celebrate with some restaurant deals. Eat like royalty at Burger King with their buy one, get one for $1 Whopper and Impossible Whopper. Use Wendy's mobile app to score a free Dave's Single or Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. And join Red Robin's loyalty program for a buy one, get one half off gourmet burger all weekend long. Grab your fellow Lego masters. We have the ultimate challenge for you. On Tuesday, Lego's scheduled to release its largest Lego set ever, with more than 11,600 pieces. The massive undertaking actually makes a giant map of the world standing at 25.5 inches high. That's pretty cool. And it's 40.5 inches wide. The set will cost you about $250 and will be on Lego's website and in stores June 1st. Other retailers will start selling it starting August 1st. We've seen the pizza bagel. Now it's time for the pizza donut. Introducing the Diorgio. I can't say that. How would you say that, Michael? Diorgio nut? Something like that. The pizza donut mashup features a savory donut stuffed with mozzarella and topped with sauce and cheese, just like a pizza. Sadly, you can't grab one at a store, but you can enter the sweepstakes for the chance to win one. When National Donut Day comes around, June 4th, keep an eye on the DiGiorno Twitter account, DiGiorno Nut, that's what it's called. And you can be one of 10 winners chosen to receive a half dozen boxes of the DiGiorno Nuts. That's it for Money Watch.
I want a map of the world that's to scale.
How cool is that?
1 inch equals 1 inch.
What also happens next Tuesday, which is very timely that this Lego set is coming out, our sister station, Fox 14, is going to be premiering a new Lego Master series. It's all about Legos.
It's an old Stephen Wright joke. Did you like it, Brett? I want a map of the world to scale 1 inch equals 1 inch. Oh, Stephen Wright jokes never get old. Great shot outside of 7th and Range Line here. The sky's beginning to lighten up. Don't have any rain falling. That's the important part. Everything pushing off to the far east of the Mississippi. Central Plains has been able to calm down after 36 hours of just back-to-back-to-back days of severe weather. Getting blue sky out in southeast Kansas. Everything beginning to get a little bit better here. As far as cloud cover goes, that's all we have to worry about is cloud cover. But we also have flood warnings, and they persist all the way until later this morning. That's the county-wide ones. Our river flood warnings, those are going to last into the weekend. Look down here, we're talking anywhere from 6 to 8 inches of rain along and south of I-44. Our temperatures for today, pretty mild, high 60s. We'll take that for Friday and Saturday. Sunday, beginning to warm back up into the 70s. Memorial Day rain mostly after 1 p.m. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News next.
Topping Health Watch this morning, a new study by the CDC takes a look at breakthrough COVID-19 infections post-vaccine. Fox's Brianna Arredondo has the details.
A new study from the CDC found 10,000 people out of 101 million fully vaccinated people ended up with COVID-19 after getting the shot. University of South Florida public health professor Dr. Thomas Unash says this is better than the initial clinical trials.
It's really fantastic. It's amazing how successful and effective the vaccine is.
But the vaccine is not perfect. The CDC study found that over the 10,000 breakthrough cases, 10% of them went to the hospital and 2% of them died.
That doesn't really surprise me too much either, because there's going to be always a small percentage of people who, for whatever the reason, their physiology and their immune system and their genetics, just aren't going to develop a decent immune response to the vaccine.
Public health experts say this is proof the shot helps you avoid COVID. Experts say they hope for more details on how these breakthrough cases happen.
So the idea is, are we having breakthrough cases in people because they had long exposures in the household? Is it a workplace exposure? Are these folks who are working in healthcare?
That's public health professor Cindy Prinz with UF Health. The CDC says more than a quarter didn't show any symptoms, and the average age of those infected was 58 years old. Researchers say a complete age breakdown would give us more perspective.
Because there have been some studies out there that show that the older you get, the less robust your immune response to the vaccine is going to be.
Scientists say the shot gives you a chance, and the CDC's report reinforces that message.
I think what makes the findings important is that they can have confidence in the vaccine as something that can protect them, especially protect them from getting very, very sick or from dying.
Another option for treating prostate cancer. On Thursday, the Food and Drug Administration approved Pylarify. It's a drug for imaging cancerous lesions men diagnosed with the disease. It's the second drug to be approved for this type of imaging. However, the first drug is only available at 2 sites in California. Pylarify is anticipated to be distributed at multiple locations throughout the United States. The FDA says Pylarify will give some men with prostate cancer greater access to imaging, which can help healthcare providers in assessing the disease and the best care options. In a development that may surprise you, the number of smokers around the world actually went up in 2019. In 2019, the number of people who smoked tobacco products reached 1.1 billion worldwide. According to the data, smoking caused nearly 8 million deaths that same year. Findings may come as a surprise to many because smoking prevalence globally has generally decreased in the last 3 decades. The U.S. was on the list of 10 countries with the largest number of tobacco smokers in 2019. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Right now, very, very mild, if not cool, compared to the past couple of days that we've had. Mid-50s to low 60s. We'll eventually get up into the high 60s, even a 70 every now and then, with sunshine and a chance to dry out, headed into Memorial Day weekend. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News next.
Authorities arrest a woman for helping 2 Cherokee County inmates escape. Plus, a Southwest Missouri couple pleads guilty to first-degree child endangerment. And the search continues this morning for a 12-year-old swept away by Shoal Creek Wednesday afternoon.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Tanya Bach. The rain is gone for now. Get ready to smile and enjoy the cool, dry day today. Let's go straight to Michael Hayslip with a first look at your forecast.
Over 7th and Rangeline as the clouds finally begin to part, and we're actually going to be in store for 2 days of nice weather, which the 4 states deserves, coming off of what it's been like for the past 36. Current conditions over 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. 59 degrees. We have seen the north wind pick up just a little bit, now at 13 miles per hour. That's why the temperature is actually dropping. And it started out the show about 64 degrees in Joplin, dropped 5 degrees, but that's all right because all that rain is far out to the east. Skywatch storm tracker with the breaking cloud cover and a high pressure system hanging over us means plenty of sunshine and mild temperatures now that the cold front moved in from the thunderstorm activity that we had for Wednesday and Thursday. Highs in the high 60s, though a low 70 up every now and then. But more importantly, got a chance to finally get rid of some of that water. Now, overnight lows are going to be a little chilly here. Going to be down into the 40s for the next couple of days. Sunday, back into the 70s. Memorial Day, specifically mid-70s. Do have a chance for rain that'll kick in mainly after 1 p.m.
Ooh, well, at least we'll have the majority of our weekend will be
It's
nice.
not, trust me, it's not going to be anything like what we had past 36 hours.
Yeah, I'm ready to go past that.
Yeah.
Moving on. All right, thanks, Michael. Authorities make an arrest in connection with the escape of 2 Southeast Kansas inmates. They say the suspect, a 26-year-old woman, helped the inmates escape. She faces charges that include felony aiding a fugitive and obstructing justice. The 2 escapees are still on the loose. They are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins. Authorities say the 2 escaped through the plumbing in the Columbus jail. The men are considered armed and dangerous. Hopkins was in jail in connection with the June double homicide, and Martzloff was held on felony narcotic charges. Anyone with information should contact the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. A Southwest Missouri couple agreed to plea deals for not getting medical attention for her 3-year-old son. 27-year-old Sarah Garby of Verona pleaded guilty to first-degree child endangerment. Her boyfriend, Caleb Williams, entered an Alford plea to 2 counts of endangerment. The plea deals include participation in a 120-day treatment program, and depending on the outcome of that program, they could be released on probation. Authorities continue the search for a 12-year-old girl swept away in Newton County's Shoal Creek on Wednesday. At around 4 p.m. Wednesday, officers arrived at the Lime Kiln Park north of Neosho for the water rescue. They were told 12-year-old Kaylin Brown had been pulled under by strong currents and that 34-year-old Trevor Hicks had gone under to try to rescue her. Hicks was rescued and transported to the hospital and at last report was in critical condition.
It got dark, water rescue, and being in the water just isn't safe after dark. At that point, we believe it had turned into a recovery instead of a rescue. It's been way too long.
Search was ended shortly after 1 p.m. Thursday due to severe weather. It'll resume this morning. Authorities say the park will remain closed until Brown is found. Thursday's heavy rains brought flood warnings and even flooded parks to Joplin. Flooded parks and flooded driveways typically mean flooded roadways, and Thursday was no exception. Jasper County Emergency Manager advises 4-state motorists to stick to the old adage of turn around, don't drown when approaching a water-filled roadway. But what if you find yourself in a car already trapped in moving floodwaters?
The conventional wisdom is get out. I agree with that because particularly you need to understand that that particular vehicle is going to the bottom, and which is not where you want to be.
We've provided a link to the MoDOT map, which provides updates on road closures due to flooding. You can find it in this article on KOAMnewsnow.com. Also in Joplin, a lightning struck a tree and downed a branch. There were no damages other than the tree. Homeowner tells us at first he didn't know what happened.
Inside, watching the storm come by, and we heard a noise outside and looked outside, and this big tree came down.
People in the Joplin area have several options for shelter and if the severe weather has them feeling unsafe in their own homes. Joplin School District has community safe rooms at their schools, although the one at Columbia Elementary is temporarily unavailable. But what about wearing masks if you have to go to one? Jasper County Emergency Manager says keep things simple and follow the rules of the safe room.
Number one concern is get people into shelter. Number two concern is masking, and that depends on a couple factors, one of which is the masking policy for the local entity that operates the shelter. The second one is your own concerns as well. You can't go wrong by wearing a mask.
For a link to a list of the community safe rooms run by the Joplin School District and their rules, you can click on this article on KOAMnewsnow.com. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, a performance under the water.
Are recorded singing here in New York waters. I'm Bradley Blackburn with how scientists hope to protect these songbirds under the sea in one of the world's busiest waterways.
Plus, for our Something to Talk About, we're asking, do you believe Bigfoot exists? We let you weigh in, but first it's 6:37.
Hiram McDaniel's the 5-headed dragon. Flood warnings countywide in effect until 9:45 this morning. Those for our rivers, including the Neosho, the Osage, the Little Osage, and the Spring River. Those flood warnings will persist into the weekend. We'll make it up into the high 60s, low 70s today. Finally, 2 consecutive days of sunshine. Do have a chance for some scattered rain on Sunday and Memorial Day rain, mainly for the afternoon and evening hours. We'll be back with Nation Watch next.
Don't miss.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, senators went home for the night without voting on a contentious plan to create a 9/11 style commission to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Republican leaders staunchly opposed the measure, saying Senate committees and the Department of Justice are already conducting investigations. Detectives and FBI agents in San Jose, California are working to determine what led 57-year-old Samuel Cassidy to gun down 9 coworkers at the Valley Transportation Authority. A federal official confirms to CBS News U.S. Customs officers had previously detained Cassidy after a trip to the Philippines in 2016. They noted he professed a hatred of his workplace and was carrying books about terrorism. Sightings of humpback whales in the waters off New York have increased in recent years, thrilling whale watchers. But now we're hearing the first proof of these majestic mammals singing in the area. Bradley Blackburn hit the seas for this whale of a tale.
Board a ship and head just a few miles from New York City.
It should be great. Oh, it's over there.
It doesn't take long to spot real-life giants.
It's beyond. It's beyond. It's incredible.
They are humpback whales we can see and now hear too. For the first time, scientists have proof of humpbacks singing in this area, not just in their Caribbean breeding grounds.
There is a real performance going on out in the water.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lead study author Julia Zay analyzed more than 6,000 hours of underwater recordings captured by Cornell scientists, and she couldn't believe her ears.
All of a sudden, there in the background, it starts kind of quiet and then gets louder. I was so excited to hear it.
They sound mysterious, even eerie to us, but to whales, they may be love songs, loud and long, sometimes lasting hours.
They all sing the same song within a population, and that song changes from year to year, kind of like pop songs.
More of these massive humpbacks have been spotted here near New York City, but these are also busy commercial waters, and one of the biggest threats to this endangered species, ship strikes.
We've had whales playing in the channel before, and some pretty close encounters with some cargo ships.
Scientists say studying their songs could help protect humpbacks in this part of the Atlantic.
The more people get to interact with them, they become real, and you care more.
A siren song asking us to listen. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, songs have only been recorded from male humpback whales, and they can be heard underwater for more than 20 miles. That's impressive. That's a look at today's top national stories. Let's check back in with Michael for our Something to Talk About.
Thank you, Tanya. KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll. Hey, why not? It's Friday. Film crew working to make a Bigfoot documentary in Oklahoma. Most of the shooting's going to take place in Honobia, not the shooting of the Bigfoot. I mean, like the shooting of the video. Honobia evidently is where the Bigfoot myth, pretty big foot. It all started when State Representative Justin Humphrey authored a Bigfoot hunting season bill earlier this year. Says he wanted to shed light on Honobia's annual Bigfoot festival and bring tourism to the Sooner State. Tentative air date for the documentary is January. Somebody's going to have to let me know if that's prime Bigfoot hunting season. I'm not sure. Our question to you, do you believe Bigfoot exists? Who's the guy that used to do the, I'm talking to our camera operator, Brett. Do you know who I'm talking about? Like I was trying to do like the pseudo-serious thing right there. Like the UFOs and everything. Anyway, I shouldn't mock this, Brett. 52% of the respondents say yes. Bigfoot is out there. 48% of you say no. I've clearly not made my delineation known yet. I haven't voted yet. KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. We'll be back with birthdays and anniversaries next.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero. First Sergeant Richard Perkins, a member of the United States Army. He served in Vietnam, where he received the Purple Heart. His hometown, Iola, Kansas. We are proud to salute Richard Perkins, our four-state hero.
Picture of Miss Hadley Bray, who's celebrating the big #1. Hadley, I hope you can look back on this picture as you get older and just enjoy it so much, kiddo, because that is a perfect first birthday picture. Hadley's in the knack.
Remember that time that Mom and Dad put me in a basket?
Oh, it's cute. Come on, she's got the #1 balloon.
It's so cute. It's so adorable.
And you know it took Mom and Dad like half an hour to So Hadley actually was holding the balloon in the right pose and had a smile on her face.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it turned out perfect.
Who was behind the this is Hadley, we're gonna have fun with you, kiddo. Who was behind the person taking the photo with the rubber duck that goes squeak, squeak, going, Hadley, over here. Hadley, over, smile, Hadley, smile. The photog's going.
For sure. Well, they did good. They did great. Well, Kason Pitts is turning 6 years old. His birthday was actually last weekend, but the party is continuing for this birthday dude.
He got a balloon too, man. That's too cool.
All right, Kason.
Rock that, Kason. I like that t-shirt too, man. Conlon Epler celebrating his 8th birthday. Conlon, I want you to have a great day, kid. I was almost going to say have a great day at school, but no, Conlon, you go enjoy that summer vacation, my man.
All right. In Girard, Zoe Powell turning 8 years old this year. Looks like we got a catcher there.
Love it, kiddo. Love it. Gear up. Gear up, Zoe. This is cool right there. Caitlin Dagonia, she is celebrating her 11th birthday. Now, that little one in her arms happens to be her puppy who goes by the name of Rose.
That's a little guy.
Yeah, and I got a feeling Rose is kind of spoiled by Miss Caitlin right there. Happy birthday to you, Caitlin, in Crestline.
Down in Goodman, Missouri, Cecilia Kennedy is turning 11 years old this year. Hope you have a great birthday.
Oh, the Lockmiller twins. We're going to start with Ava, 13 years old now. Happy birthday to you, Miss Ava, and that means Cannon. Also celebrating number 13. Now, Ava and Cannon, number 1, happy birthday. They're in the Berg. Number 2, want you to know this comes with special love from Mom, Grandma, and Grandpa.
All right. In Jasper, Missouri, turning 14 this year, it's time to celebrate for Hunter Earl.
Ross Pitts is celebrating his 31st birthday. That is the man on the left who works at the depot.
Well, that would be his son on the right, of course.
So, yeah, well, hold on. But I was going to say, if you have Memorial Day projects, Memorial Day weekend projects, and you're like, do I need a torque wrench? Maybe I do. I'm going to go ask Ross.
Okay, so now I understand why we ran Kason's birthday a week late, because earlier, Kason Pitts, that is Ross's son. Mm-hmm. The Pitts family has been doing some celebrating this month. That's for sure.
Let's run
Great
out to
family.
Altamar, because we got a celebration for Julie Ryan. Wait for it. There it is. Ta-da!
She's already put a bow on it.
Happy birthday, Julie. Want you to have a marvelous birthday. Julie, once again, is in Altamont.
All right, in Moran, Kansas, Alice Adams celebrating birthday number 65 this year. Looking great there, Alice.
In Columbus, a happy birthday to Mr. Richard Freeman. Oh, look at it. Oh, taking the kids for a ride. How cool is that?
It's like the grandpa's favorite thing to do.
Happy birthday,
Oh, my
Mr.
goodness.
Freeman.
All right. Happy birthday, Richard. And happy birthday to Curtis Nida down in Miami,
Hey,
Oklahoma.
what's up, Curtis?
All right.
Well, sometimes these pictures pop up and I forget how long it's been since I've seen these people. It's crazy. Happy birthday, Curtis. Sherry Boltinghouse has a birthday, and she is celebrating in Girard. Now, if it's Sherry's birthday, then it's also Shelly's birthday, Shelly Coon's birthday, and that's because Sherry and Shelly happen to be twins. Sherry's in Girard, Shelly is in Chanute. Happy birthday to both of you. And it looks like you guys had a marvelous family get together.
Awesome, awesome. And if Sherry and Shelly are celebrating, then Sherry and Shelly's sister-in-law, Kim, is also celebrating. Kim Insminger in Moran, happy birthday to you.
Kylie Ludwig is in Edna, Kansas. Very happy birthday to Miss Kylie. And I want you to know, this happy birthday comes from your mother-in-law.
All right, and
maybe mom-in-law's making a cake. Who that is?
You want this one?
No, she knows I'm going to yell who that is when she pops up.
Yeah. Miss Jill Sayapile.
What up, Doc?
Yeah, what a great picture there. Celebrating another year wiser in Frontenac.
Happy birthday, Jill. Tom and Deanna Lockmiller celebrating their 50th anniversary. Congratulations, Tom and Deanna, on that milestone. They are in Pittsburgh.
All right. And Dale and Carolyn Flanagan are celebrating 56 years together. What an awesome picture there. They're in Jasper.
Awesome picture, and I love that name, Carolyn. That is unique,
really,
and I just think that's a beautiful name right there. Congratulations to the Flanagans. Giovanni Barcelona celebrating number 3. Happy birthday, Gio. And Jeff Brittle, a happy 53rd birthday to Jeff in Miami. Now, here's Tanya Bach with a very important birthday announcement.
That's right. You can be a part of the KOAM Birthday Club. All you have to do is go to our website and sign up. And once you do, you'll get special deals from local businesses. Go to KOAMnewsnow.com. Sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today.
So in the interest of full disclosure, earlier I was searching for the name of a gentleman who I thought would be perfect to talk about, who was on our KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Instapoll about if you believe Bigfoot exists. My apologies to Robert Stack and all you Robert Stack fans. I had the name right on the tip of my tongue. Unsolved Mysteries, Airplane. I couldn't get it out. Whoa, what happened, Kanya? 52% now say no.
Ooh.
The non-believers are waking up, Tanya. The non-believers are waking up.
We'll see how this changes when we flip over to Fox 14.
Ooh,
all right,
that's a
here's a
deep
check
tease.
of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Authorities continue the search for a 12-year-old girl swept away in Newton County's Shoal Creek on Wednesday. At around 4 p.m. Wednesday, officers arrived at the Lime Kiln Park north of Neosho for the water rescue. They were told 12-year-old Kaylin Brown had been pulled under by strong currents and that 34-year-old Trevor Hicks had gone under to try to rescue her. The search was ended shortly after 1 p.m. Thursday due to severe weather. It will resume this morning. Authorities say the park will remain closed until Brown is found. Authorities make an arrest in connection with the escape of 2 Southeast Kansas inmates. They say the suspect, a 26-year-old woman, helped the inmates escape. She faces charges that include felony aiding a fugitive and obstructing justice. The 2 escapees are still on the loose. They are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins. Authorities say the 2 escaped through the plumbing in the Cherokee County Jail. The men are considered armed and dangerous. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Temperature's going to be quite mild, not only for this time of year, but especially when you consider the fact that we've had 80s for the past couple of days. And speaking of the past couple of days, we do not have to worry about severe weather today. We're going to be mostly sunny. Remember, we still do have flood warnings, especially in the southern 4 states, all the way until 9:45. Those are probably going to be allowed to expire. Our rivers, however, Neosho, Little Osage, those are going to persist all the way into the weekend. They didn't, yeah, we're not done yet, but I know, I didn't know if I should wrap up or not. No, okay. We're going to have exciting things at noon. Do you want to take a gander at what we're going to have? I can tell you what we're going to do.
Okay.
We're going to break down precipitation totals, and we're going to roll those back to Monday. And then what we're going to do is we're not only going to look at how much rain that we've had since the beginning of the year, but also, too, even though you're like, oh my gosh, it feels like we're underwater now, wait until I show you these numbers compared to last year when we had historic rainfall.
He can get excited about that. I'm going to get excited about making a patriotic poke cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Nerd alert! That'd be me. Want everybody to have a great weekend, and remember, please be safe. We'll do this all again on Monday morning.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.
Memorial Day savings are